Hi guys, welcome to Irish Footy Vlogs. Myself and Keane here as usual, although Keane missed last week. Isn't that right, Keane?
Yeah, no, the AP done a great job of in this film.
I know he did. In fairness, he did do a great job. He was good because he stepped in as well in the last minute. He what? Sorry, Keane.
He stood in. He should have gotten a seat.
He literally did. I asked him as well, do you want to sit down, JP? Do you want to sit down? He goes, no, I'm fine standing up, so you know yourself. Anyway, we'll get into the games, Keane. They probably don't want to see us messing about. Derry City and Waterford. Derry City won this one 2-0. Great result for Derry City. I had a feeling they put in a performance in this one after Declan Devine's words from their last performance, and I think they're safe after this. Waterford still in third. Having said that, the penalties they got, the first penalty was a pure and utter disgrace, in my opinion. But what did you think overall, Keane, yourself?
Yeah, there wasn't quality in this game at all. I thought, without sounding bad, I thought it was probably, like, we'll speak about Dundalk and Finn Harps, but it was definitely up there with the worst game. I thought it now. Derry won't give a shit. They won 2-0. 2 penalties. Took them away nicely, but first one never a penalty. I don't know what happened there. Second one, you could argue, yeah, but first one definitely never a penalty. Like I said, there was no quality in either side. I think it was a typical end of season game, really. And but people need to realise Waterford are third in the division now. They're going for European football, and they're another side that's not getting the credit they deserve either. With all the turmoil's been going on, to be honest, even at the start of the season, if someone said Waterford were going to finish third with Alan Reynolds and all the players they had, people would say not a chance. So to be third now on the third manager is fantastic, and you know they could very well stay there. I don't think they will though. I think Dundalk will probably pip them to third, and I think fourth at the minute should be Waterford. I think Sligo dropped off a little bit, and I can't see Pats making up the ground, or I can't see teams around making up the ground. So I would say Waterford are fairly happy with that. But in saying that, they'd be going out to win every game.
Yeah, definitely. I think Derry City, though, Figueroa had a good game for them as well, I think, in my opinion. Overall, they just looked like they lacked that bit of... They needed the penalty.
Oh, yeah. Look, they needed the 2 penalties. I think if it was one, it was a bit dodgy as well. And it was... Like, it wasn't a great performance from Derry at all. If the season went on for longer, I'd be a little bit worried about them. I really would. If the season went on a bit longer, because there was no quality in that game. And look, I don't think I'm being harsh on them by saying that. It was awful looking at it.
Waterford, do you think will be disappointed enough with their performance? Because, again, as I said, though, the first goal, it was one of those games, the first goal was crucial. And as I said, that penalty, so while he just stands there basically, and I think Figueroa just went down essentially. And he does as a defender? He does nothing wrong there as a defender. The first goal was always going to be crucial in this game, so Waterford fans can be fairly upset now that goal was given, because ultimately it decided the game, to be honest, overall, didn't it?
Yeah, no, there's no question about it. It was Jesus. It was bad decision, and look, we see it. Like, you see it all over the place, especially in England and stuff like that at the minute. The refereeing decisions are just, I don't know what's going on with football at the minute. But to be honest, I think if that decision was put up on, let's say, Soccer AM or something, people would be laughing at it. I thought it was, I thought never a penalty. I was laughing at it when I seen it given now. I'm telling you now, I think my head would have went through the blade in television if it was Pat's. But I do now. I know what I'm laughing about now, but if that was their club, we'd be giving out like hell. But it was, like I says, I think Waterford, they're obviously going to be disappointed, but they didn't deserve to get out of the game. So I think they'd be disappointed with the performance, not the result. I think they got what they deserve.
True enough. Shamrock Rovers 4, Sligo Rovers 0, the Rovers Derby, we'll call it. Rovers are flying, aren't they? Was it 4-0, 6-1, 4-0 the last few weeks? Some of the football they're playing. The weird thing is, Jack Byrne wasn't at his very best in this game. In fact, he had a bit of an injury. Yes, he was still fairly good. I mean, that pass for one of the goals, it was Graham Burke's goal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What a pass. He scores. Rowan scores the opener. McGinty makes a mistake, which is unusual for him, and that does not help. If you're playing Shamrock Rovers away, you can't give them a goal like that to give them the lead, can you, though?
In fairness, I think I've seen McGinty playing now consistently about, I would say, about 18, 19 months. That's the first point. Look, it's bound to happen once. It's just unfortunate it happened against Shamrock Rovers and 0-0. But look, it was Rovers thinking out second gear. Like, Rovers won't care now, but they probably care that I say this, but I actually thought it was a very poor game. It was the minute the first goal went in, it was corners. I really couldn't see Sligo getting anything out of it. Like, it was like, you know what I mean. They could have just packed up and went home at 1-0. I thought there was nothing in it. There was no pace. There was no, like, I'm not at the same time.
In a way, though, the Shamrock Rovers win at game 4-0 in that manner.
Yeah, look, it shows you how good they are. I thought Jack Bourne was exceptional with his passes, but Graham Burke's touch for his goal was just, it was beautiful to watch. What a pass, but that touch on his bad foot and then the finish was just, it was superb from that end. But Rovers didn't get out of second gear. It was easy for them. I think Sligo kind of made it easy for them as well. Sligo will be disappointed now, but can they really be disappointed? I don't think so, considering they were bottom of the table before lockdown and now they're well safe. Like, there was talk of the chairman didn't want the relegation because they thought they were going to go down. And look, I think anyone even before lockdown, if people asked them, well, so if it was a normal season to finish where they are now, they'd bite a hand off. And they look rightly so, but it was an awful game, wasn't it?
Yeah, in fairness to Sligo, though, if they can get another little kick before the end of the season, it might give them a chance of finishing top four. If they can get that little kick, they're of course still in the cup as well. But it's just, I don't know, it's a strange one with them. It's kind of gone wrong the last few weeks. They don't look as creative as they did, do they, for some reason?
No, it's like I didn't expect them to get out against Rovers. Now, in fairness, I did think it was going to be a comprehensive. It's like Rovers, to be honest, are in pilot mode, and that literally just getting teams on the pitch, just battering them and going on to the next one. That's what it's like. And you know, it's great to be in that position. I remember when Pats were in that position, Dundalk, Cork at one stage were in that position, and then you look at Rovers now, and this hasn't just come this season. Like, this has been coming since Bradley came in. I said it before about the recruitment and how important recruitment is. Like, Rovers, Bradley would have came in after Fenlon thrown absolute mad money at players, and even before that, like Stephen Kenny. There's no question about it. Stephen Kenny threw absolute donkey money at players, like the likes of Mark Quigley, Killian Brennan. All these players, these didn't come for nothing, like. And, you know, Stephen Kenny, then you had Trevor Crowley, who also Mark Quigley was Trevor Crowley's signing, and he threw absolute mad money at him, getting from Sligo. And, you know, every year they were throwing unbelievable amount of money away, and it wasn't working for them. They were barely getting Europe, and I think Bradley came in. I think he was very underrated. Look, it's taken probably a lot longer than Shamrock Rovers fans would want. But every year they've added some serious quality, like the likes of Gary O'Neill. To be honest, he's a massive signing for them. He's probably at the minute he's up there with the best of the country.
Well, the funny thing is, I think we spoke earlier on in the season about how big a loss Bulger would be.
Yeah,
but O'Neill has filled in, like,
yeah. O'Neill. To be honest with you, O'Neill's making them tick. If you take O'Neill out of our side, I think they could struggle in some games. I think O'Neill
deeper role. Yeah, he's doing all the simple stuff very, very well. But people don't understand sometimes that, you know, when you're ticking away in midfield, that's what you have to do. You know what I mean? You need somebody to do that. Byrne is the creative player.
Yeah.
But O'Neill's the guy who actually, you know, gets the process going, if you like.
You need that, I think. Like, it's saying you need to have that partnership. We're seeing it now. Well, obviously, we've seen it with Buckley for Bowes, who does that job. At the minute, like, you're kind of seeing it with Pats, with Benson, kind of dropping in a little bit of Forrest as the creative man, a little bit forward, but Jamie Lennon is there as well. But, you know, with Shamrock Rovers, I think it's easy to play on that side. I really do. Look, I honestly think anybody, I would say anybody could play there and score goals and play well at the minute. They're a ready-made side, but like I says, this has been coming since Stephen Bradley came into the job. And every year he's brought in players, and every year he's brought in players that affect the team. That's the most important. It's all well and good signing players to keep players on their toes, but you need to bring players in that affect the team. And look, they're worthy champions. It's only a matter of when. Just hopefully it's not against Pats, but you know,
if they can win it somehow before then, you see, you're thinking they might drop off a little bit.
They go on the garter then, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. That's it. On to Shelbourne and Bohemians, the big Dublin derby here. Shelbourne won, Bohemians 3. For me, it was a game that Bohemians won fairly well. Shelbourne will look back and say, at 1-0 they missed a penalty, fair enough. But I thought Bows overall had the upper hand here. Control most of it, did you?
Bows bossed it, I thought.
Well done, Danny Grant, a super hat-trick from Danny Grant.
What a player, what a player. Like what we'll see now, Twardek is a massive loss for them now at the minute. He's gone now, he's gone for his medical.
Funny thing about Twardek, Keane, I actually thought, and I had it noted, in that game he was quite subdued, funnily enough. And I had it in the head as well, so I wonder if he was just, you know yourself, he knew he was leaving, and it's hard to, I suppose, concentrate, fully focus on that. You know, he's obviously leaving to that Polish team. I'm not going to pronounce them. Sorry, guys. Check it up on the internet. Killian Sheridan plays for them. I'll give you a hint.
Like, I wouldn't be worried about him leaving. Massive loss, but the reason I wouldn't be worrying about him leaving is because Keith Long always has a trick up his sleeve. He always has someone to come in and replace him. Obviously, you have that young fella. What's his name? I'm sure or something like that. What's his name?
Yeah.
Promise
is his first name, so we go with Promise. Yeah.
Well, like Promise looks like he does. He looks like he has a bit about him, man. Look, he will get in now. I think Bows are nailed on to get where they are.
Let's say that, Keane, regardless, they're going to finish second anyway, so I can plan for that next season.
So I think we're going to see Dawson coming in, getting his game. I think we're going to see Promise coming in, maybe getting his game now more consistently. Look, Keith has a lot of faith in these players, a lot of faith in Dawson, the boy especially. I think, you know, you're bringing them on, especially in a big European tour, that shows you how much faith he has in that player. I'm not worried about Twardek leaving. I'm really not. The reason being is just because Keith Long always has fantastic replacements. Like you lose Dan O'Kelly. I know Twardek came a year later, but you lose Dan O'Kelly and he's not even talked about.
Well, they've done that over the past few years. They've lost what's his name, goalkeeper Shane Supple and that.
You lost Supple, you lost AJ Lunny, you lost Dan Casey, you you're losing players week in, week out. Dylan Watts, when Bows were like he was a massive loss.
He was brilliant at Bohemians.
He was the main man. He made them tick that year. He used to have the little blonde hair. Do you remember? No, he made them tick in the middle. Like he was really good. You're losing them players. You're losing JJ Lunny that year to Waterford as well. And, you know, obviously you had the Pico Lopez, Keith Buckley they lost.
Yeah, Leahy is another one as well. So Leahy is gone and Breslin is slotted in.
You're not even talking about Leahy going. You're not even talking about Pender going. And that's why I'm saying I wouldn't be worried about Twardek leaving because...
It's different if you lose a bunch of them. Say if Grant, Twardek, I don't know, Buckley, let's say, all went to the Lions at the same time. It's difficult, but... When it's one or two, he just has this knack, doesn't he, getting in replacements.
He'll give them down it.
He doesn't watch this. Yeah, exactly. He'd probably make him look like a genius, like, you know. That's the funny thing with Keith Long, like, you know what I mean? Saying, why didn't we see that in him? But yeah, I mean, Bowls, like, you know, they're fine. But Shelbourne, any worries about Shelbourne? They've struggled the last weeks, haven't they?
Yeah, honestly, I had no question they were going to be nailed off a mid-table. I didn't have it.
I have to say, it was a bit...
I didn't have a think in the world, but of the last couple of weeks, like, especially, like, personally, I was looking at them play Pats last week, sorry, and they were all right, like, they played well. And I was saying, not a lot of teams are going to be beating them and tend to go out and get hammered by Bows. But, you know, if they got a point out of that, it was a great result. If that penalty went in, all of a sudden they could have went and won it. It's all ifs and buts. But I thought Bows managed the game well. Their experienced players got them through it. You know what I mean? I thought they deserved the 3 points. Like Danny Grant on the
Andrew Wright had another good game as well, I have to say. And I can see why he plays ahead of Dinny Corcoran, because Dinny's a goal scorer. He's a fox in the box. But Andrew Wright links those wingers like Grant and Twardick before very well. And he set up 2 Grant goals, I think. And the third was actually a shot from Andrew Wright, which the keeper McKay parried out and Grant finished. So you can see why Wright actually plays, let's be honest. Like, I know Bulls fans.
Look, Andre is really good. I thought it's about time people start recognising them now, in fairness. So I think, look, Danny Grant at the minute is just unplayable.
There's a reason why Keith Long keeps picking him ahead of Danny Corker.
Yeah. And there's a reason, like, I honestly think Danny Grant is just, like, I really do think he's in the form of his life. I think Bows are in a great position now. Like last year, where they start bringing players back, like the likes of JJ Looney, the likes of Dan Casey. You know, you're bringing these top players back to the club.
And they're just fitting in like a glove, like, you know.
Yeah, like if that was 2 years ago, Danny Grant now would be gone.
Keane Mandrew as well isn't even getting a look in, and it doesn't seem to make a huge difference to them.
No,
So
it's not going to make a huge difference.
Exactly.
Like I really do. I think Dawson Devoy is next season. I'm excited about. I'm excited looking for him. You know, I'm like a Pat signed him now will be over the moon. I don't think he's going anywhere though. But like I really do. I think Dawson. I'm looking forward to seeing him play next year. I think Bows now are in a fantastic position. They put themselves in pole position now. They're probably them and Shamrock Rovers are the only two that are kind of looking ahead. You know, like Bows now in the cup, stuff like that. So Rovers as well, but I think they're the only 2 teams that have kind of cemented that spot. We'll probably speak about Cork. They've probably cemented that spot as well. But I just think Bows are in a superb position now where they can just plan for next season and plan for the cup.
Right, moving on to Cork. Cork City 1, St. Patrick's Athletic 2. And before we get into Pat's Keane, I think Cork could have lost this 6 or 7-1, let's be honest. I thought they were dreadful for most of this game. Just, you know, they had the fans in. They had about 200 fans in watching as well. They probably wish they didn't actually get in. They're rooted now, aren't they, at 9 points? They don't look like they're getting any better.
I swear to God.
Is there any crumbs of comfort you can actually give to Cork City, in all honesty, from this game?
No, well, they made a game.
Yeah, they lost 2-1.
Yeah.
They could have lost 7.
Now, being honest with you, Keith, and this is no word of a lie, I thought when Pat were getting wave after wave of attacking shots, and I really thought they were replays over and I really did. Like, I was like, you know, when they're showing the replays, and I was like, geez, I haven't seen that one before. And like, I thought they were it was just wave after wave for 30 minutes.
It's like I don't know, rugby or Gaelic football style attacks, wasn't it? Where players are just coming in from everywhere, yeah.
I haven't seen us play like that in years, honestly. And it was great to watch. Look, we know who we're playing against. We weren't playing against a good side at all. I'm not getting overly excited or anything about it.
Look, you have to, though, give Pats credit because they performed very well. And as I said, only for, I'd say, poor enough finishing overall. They must have 20 shots. I mean, at one stage, Forrester was just pinging them for 30 yards for fun. But, you know what I mean? They missed a lot of very good chances. He was
when Pat had the ball in the first half, in the first 30 minutes, I thought Forrester was just electric. He was unplayable. And we're seeing glimpses of it now over the last number of weeks. And it's getting exciting. I'm not getting ahead of myself because we've seen how bad, let's say, Forrester can play, but I do think he's not there yet. He's a long way to go, but he's on the right road of getting to where.
What do you think it is with him, though? Why do you think? I know he had personal issues and all that kind of thing, but at the same time, do you think it's a confidence thing?
Definitely. Look, it's a big confidence thing. Look, he's a lot going on. Just thought when Pat had the ball, he was just really good. We're seeing glimpses of how good he is.
He looked hungry, though. It's all right he was looking for the ball, though. He was demanding the football. And I want Forrester demanding the football. You know,
We've seen him play that good against Bows.
Yeah.
At the back end of last year. But in the last 2 weeks, he has just been electric. And long may it continue. I know we're running out games. It's such a shame. But, like, Forrester is just electric.
With Pats overall now, in fairness to them, in the last 3 or 4 games, we're starting to see a better team structure and a better togetherness in terms of players are starting to know each other's game, basically. You know, we did a lot of rotation, didn't we? And Feely could have been playing centre-back or right centre-back of a back three, and Desmond was playing everywhere as well. But there's more of a settled unit there now, and I think that's to the benefit of the team, isn't it?
Yeah, look, I'm not getting carried away because in 2 weeks we could be basically relegated again. But I really do. I think the way we played that game, the only downside for me, we let them back into it. Like, that could have been 6 or 7, and you know, it really could have. It was that easy.
Could get caught then the last minute. Who knows?
Like, we gave them a free kick. I would say about 23 yards out, 24 yards out at the end. I was like, oh no.
You got through to Clark as well.
I got through, but Clark, he got down. I had no worry. I wasn't worrying at all. But honestly, I'd be worried for Cork. I think. Look, we'll speak about Finn Harps getting a point now in Dundalk, but it puts them in an awful position. Like, they've Dundalk and everything to play, and I don't know, but I shouldn't be laughing because I think it's
in all honesty, though, it's very hard. They probably need to finish 9th. I reckon they probably need 2 wins last 4 games.
I see them getting it. But when you think about it, you need to see them getting 2 wins, but you need Finn Harps not to pick up any points.
Exactly.
Finn Harps, I fancy Finn Harps to pick up a point against Shamrock Rovers. I really do. Like, the way they played tonight gave me hope that they can go and play Shamrock Rovers next week and get something out of them. But I just, if you had to pick Harps or you had to pick Cork, I'm telling you now, and it's Harps all day. Like, Cork are just, like, that isn't a great pat side. It really isn't. And it's kind of worrying because we actually made it look unbelievable.
You just wonder, Kane, if that was Shamrock Rovers against Cork on the day, God knows what the score would have been.
Look, honestly, I shouldn't be laughing. I know I'm smiling, but I think it's an absolute disgrace that Cork City are bottom of the table. Look, we've said it loads of times. I think
they've better players, Kane, than their position suggests.
No, I really don't. I think McNulty is first division at max. I really do. I think he's gone. Bennett is gone. Like, them two started the season as coaches. Shows you how bad they are. Shows you how bad things are at Cork. Like, last year, your man Blade, Mark O'Sullivan's coming back. Like, there's something wrong there.
Smells that when Neil Fenn is whipping 2 players off after 30 minutes as well.
They didn't look happy, did they?
You know, Fenn, he probably could have taken 8 or 9 players off, let's be honest, for 30 minutes.
It was.
It could have been very embarrassing for them.
I'm shocked to see Cork down there still. I really am. I always thought, look, the same lot of Pats. I always thought they were 2 good wins away from getting way out there, but they're really in the shits now.
They really are. Dundalk 0, Finn Harps 0. Moving on. I'm only joking. No, it wasn't a great game, but to be honest with you, Finn Harps, obviously Dundalk made 10 changes, I think, to the team that played in the European game. But Harps would be happy enough with the point, particularly with Cork losing. Dundalk are in a funny position in the league because they still need to try and get in the top 4, let's be honest about it. But they have a couple of games in hand now. They'll probably hope to get the wins in the games where they can play their full-strength team before Europa League. How do you see this one? It was a poor enough game overall. As I said, Harps would be happy.
That felt like 6 points of Finn Harps. It really did. I was honestly Finn Harps just came for a point and they got it. But Dundalk weren't creative in the second half, especially. They weren't breaking them down. Now that's disappointing from Dundalk's side, but honestly, it's a credit to Finn Harps as well. They marshaled them really, really well. Like, the last 10 minutes of that, it was literally 10 men in the box. And honestly, they were just defending for their life. Now, a good bit of volleyhog and time wasting went on. Like, you get that an awful lot. But they're a frustrating team to play against. They really are.
And that's the difference, isn't it, between them and Cork? Cork would like to be a frustrating team to play against.
Yeah.
There's your difference there, isn't there, straight?
Look, if I had to come up against Finn Harps or Cork, I'd pick Cork all day. And that's not just because Patch just beat them. Like, Finn Harps obviously beat us in the Cup, but I honestly, Finn Harps at the side, like, you just don't want to play. Like, even if even if I was going for a league title and you had a choice between Finn Harps and, let's say, Sligo, I'd probably go for Sligo. And that's the God honest truth.
Finn Harps are scrapping.
Yeah, Finn Harps are always tough to get at now of, and I can see them going all the way. Do I think, because they're hard to beat, I think they'll be in the Premier Division next year? I think they'll beat whoever is playing them in the playoff because they're hard to beat.
Yeah, we'll get into that as well. But I think there's a big gap between the first.
That's it. Look, I think Cork are gone. I really do. And we shouldn't be talking like that. We shouldn't be saying that. And for the league to lose Cork is disgraceful. Like, we've seen Turner's Cross packed. We've seen the jammers down there and buzzing and league titles and cups and doubles, and like, that feels like a lifetime ago now. And Finn Harp's got a point tonight, and like we'll speak about it now on Tuesday, but I really do think they're going to get something against Shamrock Rovers, because I think Finn Harps, if they get 3 points in the next couple of games, I think they have it.
We're in times for Cork. On to the first division, Keane, and as usual, this was mental, wasn't it? It's great crack. UCD 1, Bray Wanderers 3. Now, we'll get on to the other games soon enough, but Bray have hit back brilliantly after that defeat against Drogheda at the Carlisle grounds. They're now 2 points clear at the top of the table with 3 games to go. That was a tricky fixture going to UCD, and we'll get on to it later, knowing what Drogheda had. But great result for them here. Gary Shaw was the man again. Went off injured, unfortunately, but young Lynch came on, 17-year-old striker. He's a big lad, by the way. Yeah. And he managed the goal as well. He's a huge guy. What do you think of this one?
What a win. What a fantastic win. Any time of the season. Like, Premier Division sides hate going to UCD to get on now. I hate going there as a Pats fan playing UCD. You always get a tough game. There's no question. Like, there's never times when you get an easy game there. And I really do. I think that was the making of Bray. I really think that that was the tester. I think if Bray win the next, I'd say if they win one and draw one.
If they get 6 points out of the last 3 games, they definitely have it. If Shamrock Rovers B, for example, and they've Athlone and Galway. Like,
if they got 4 points out of that, I would possibly say that's enough.
Possibly, yeah.
And look, the win, they'd be looking to beat Shamrock Rovers.
You'd expect them to get 4 points out of them, to be honest.
That's it, and I think they will. But look, nobody would have predicted it. I think I predict them to finish 5th or 6th, to be honest with you.
Get into the playoffs last season. I was actually thinking this earlier, Keane, and they lost the likes of Hughie Douglas and Dylan McGlade. Now, they've obviously recruited the likes of Thompson, Barry, and players like that. But the youngsters that were there have obviously come up trumps as well. And that's always the thing. You're never sure how good these players can do. Sometimes fans of the club do, but you're not sure yourself. So out of the teams that are challenging, if you like, they've been the most impressive because of that, because of where they were last season.
Yeah, 100%. What they've done to be top of the table now is just, nobody would have believed it. I don't even think Bray fans would have believed to be where they are now.
The heart, probably not. Yeah.
I think they'd bite your hand off for a playoff position, and like, to see them top of the table now, they're just 4 points. I think they have it, which they should. But UCD, look, it opens it back up again, doesn't it? The other end, like, for the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, they're 5th on 23 points now. Galway are on 23 as well, but 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's tight there again, so it leaves that open as well, doesn't it? Yeah,
look, it's madness, isn't it? It's just madness. That's the only word I can call it.
It's great crack, though. I love the first division. Drogheda, absolute disaster, to be honest. 2-0 home defeat at Lone Town. Manning penalty. And did you see Dugan's goal, though?
Halfway line, boom. Yeah.
The keeper, he was off his line, but he wasn't like at his box or anything like that. Like,
No, I don't know what happened there, but
still, it's a great finish. It's a great finish, but
yeah,
disaster in the circumstance. Well, a great result because they grinded that out last week in Bray.
yeah.
And that's been Drogheda's problem, actually, because I mentioned actually with JP that Drogheda have been dropping a lot of points because the team's in the bottom of the league. They've had
That's it, and it's
one
like,
point out 16 against Athlone. They drew with Shamrock Rovers B, and actually were lucky to beat Shamrock Rovers B the other week.
yeah.
They've beaten Bray twice, Drogheda in the league.
Cole beat them as well at home.
Sorry, what's that?
Cole beat them at home, and like it's you can't be losing games like that, and like that win against Bray calls for nothing now. That means nothing now.
In fact, it actually gives Bray a bigger boost because of they thought they'd lost a massive game.
Yeah.
Turn around the next week, they go to UCD, thinking they probably have to beat UCD just to keep track of Drogheda.
Yeah.
Drogheda 2-0 home that loan. It's a big blow for them, and it could be very decisive, actually, couldn't it? They go to Galway next week, although knowing Drogheda, they'll probably win in Galway.
You don't know what you're going to get with Drogheda, I don't think. They're very inconsistent. I don't know, it's just madness. It really is. Like, you know, I don't know how you can go and beat Bray and grind it out so well and then just roll over. Like, the second goal, fantastic technique, yeah.
But they were messing about with it a little bit in midfield. I don't know if you've seen the little.
Yeah, I've seen the thing, but
it's a bit messy from them, wasn't it?
They were on the attack. They were obviously chasing it. And, you know, it annoys me that they lost the ball so easily in the middle. And then, yeah, man, like, look from the halfway line. I blame the keeper there. He kind of half went for it, I thought.
Supposed to just kept tracking,
Yeah, he kind of half went, but he kind of jumped too early, and before you know, it's in the back of the net. But I think, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I've no words for it.
Well, as I said, if Drogheda don't go up, as I said, they've beaten Bray twice. They'll kick themselves for dropping points against. Now, it's not disrespect to the smaller sides, but what I mean is, if you're going to win the league, you need to be picking up the majority of points against your Atlones.
You need to win your home games. Simple. You need to.
They actually drew Trial as well away to Athlone as well, but so.
Like, you don't mind picking up a point on the road, but you need to be winning your home games. You really do. Like, you have to be beating Athlone at home. You have to be beating Cove at home. And no, there's 6 points. That's 6 points right there. And I don't know, they'll be kicking themselves now if they don't get promoted.
Longford Town 2, Galway United 6. Longford were 2 up. It's fair to say Longford are gone. Whatever chance Drogheda have, Longford have no chance to win the league now because they're 6 points behind Bray. It's not happening. They're 4 points behind Drogheda. They're settling. They have to settle now for the playoff play. And even that, they're only 3 points above not getting into the playoffs, by the way. So they have to be careful there as well. But I suppose they've been disappointing in a sense, haven't they? You know,
absolute disaster.
6-2. I don't know what happened there.
Absolute disaster. It really, really is. And I just, again, look, I've just no words for a result like that. I don't know how you can go out and be 2-0 up. Yeah, I get the momentum can change. And
by the way, I'll say it as well, Longford have won the best defensive records in the league before. They may have had the best game.
I don't know how you can go from being 2-0 up, cruising. Albeit, I get if you lose 3-2 or you draw, but not 6. Like, that's unbelievable.
Like, fair play to Galway. You have to give them credit, I suppose. Caulfield's won like 6 out of 7 or something like that. They're flying. There's a good chance they will end up, I suppose, into the playoffs. South African midfielder, didn't know much about him, to be honest. Ubazuna scored a hat-trick, so fair play to him.
Who scored?
Ubazuna. He's got with that, but I'm probably wrong.
Oh, no, look, like, what a performance from. Really, it's just been fantastic for Galway since Caulfield. I said it before, it's going to take time. I think
he'd have that kind of impact. If you're honest with you. Remember, he hasn't been able to pick his players at all.
That's it. And look, if they get into the playoff position, which they're in pole position to do so, I think the fixtures they're kind of going for them as well a little bit. Yeah. And look, I don't know if they get into that. If you put them which they look like a nasty bunch of players as well. You put them up against Finn Harps, let's say, or something like that. Like, that'd make for a great game. And I'm looking forward to seeing these games. Hopefully they're on the watch yellow white. I presume they will be. But I'm looking forward to these relegation playoffs.
100%. Shamrock Rovers B won 2-0 against Wexford FC. Another goal for Brandon Kavanagh there, by the way. That's their first win in 5 for Shamrock Rovers B. Wexford are the bottom of the league now. So after winning, of course, 5-1 against Cabinteely last week, they'll be a bit disappointed with that. But a good win for Rovers B. And to be honest with you, Rovers B haven't been doing too badly in the last few weeks despite losing games. So that was coming, I feel, to be honest with you.
Yeah, look, a good win for them. Like I said, they're only all them players are playing for contracts, really. They're playing for contracts in Shamrock Rovers. They're trying to get into the Shamrock Rovers first team. Some are trying to look elsewhere. And, it's hard as well for, let's say, Aidan Price, who's the manager, I think. It's hard. It's very hard to motivate a team like that. I think what Rovers are doing is fantastic. I personally hope they're not in the league. We spoke about this before. I hope they're not there next year. But albeit if they are, they'll be ready. They'll be prepared. But Wexford now, like they got a bit of a boost at the start of the season. I think they kind of got a freak, to be honest with you, where they found themselves. They started winning a couple of games. They weren't conceding a lot of goals either. They were playing good football. That's most important, I think. And look, it's Wexford now are building for next year, and they have a foundation there. And if they get 3 or 4 decent players, I don't mean decent players. You don't need decent players, but if they get 3 or 4 solid players, they could find themselves in the playoffs. And if you're in the playoffs, you're only 2 games away from the title, like, and that's the way I look at it. And it's madness.
Cove Ramblers 1, Cabinteely 2. This was a huge win actually for Cabinteely because they've been in poor form after getting battered 5-1 by Wexford as well. To go down to Cove and get that win, Kieran Marty Waters in the last minute. It kind of knocks Cove out of it maybe a little bit. I know they're only 3 points behind, but it's going to be difficult for them maybe to bypass the teams. It's a big blow there. Cabinteely on 26, level at Longford. They'll feel confident they can sneak a playoff place now, I think, won't they?
That was huge. What a win. If anything, it shows how much character that side has. Like, they have been getting battered. They've been getting hammered. We've hammered them every week ourselves. I think all the media have hammered them every week. And Cove is a hard place to go, even when you're bang out form. We've seen that over the years. And to get a result out in the last minute as well, that's going to kick them right on now. Cove will still have a bit of hope. It's out of their hands. They need to win all their games. But we've seen things like this before, and Cabinteely could lose next week, Cove win, all of a sudden that game's gone and it's on to the next one.
Well, that's the funny thing with it. It seems to me whoever gets battered the week before wins the next week. So I'll be basing my predictions on that. So whoever loses last week, I'm going to nearly say is going to win the final, because that's the way it's been going pretty much, like, hasn't it? In fairness,
it's like
it's exciting first division, though. It's a very exciting first division, to be honest.
Yeah, it's exciting. There's no question, but at the same time, I think it's tough on the teams. It's great for us, but like a lot of money goes into that first division. I look at it from that side of it as well. Like dropping 6 points. I'm just thinking off the top of my head, at home to Athlone, at home to Cove. The money, the effort, everything that they've put into that could be gone in them 2 home games. And like, it's an awful lot of money. In saying that, I think whoever doesn't come up this year puts them in pole position to go up next year. I do think if Cork go down, I can't see them coming straight back up with that first division the way it is.
Yeah, I'd see if Cork go down as well, I can see them relying on a lot of their youth players. If you
get me, they're going to have to.
Academy players, not young players necessarily, academy players.
They have to rely on them because they have no money. Like, they sold Johnny Maguire's yoke, they sold all the sell-on clauses, and like, just to get a license this year, So it shows you how in trouble they are. But if they go down, what a disaster. But I can't see them coming straight back up. I really can't.
No, I can't either, to be honest, Keane. No, definitely not.
And that's that's what I'm saying. That gives a little bit of hope. You usually, like, let's say if a team went down, they're automatic favourites to go straight back up. But I don't see that this year.
No, I don't either, in fairness. All right, guys, we'll leave it there. Cian, thanks as usual. We'll be back for the preview show on Thursday or Friday. We'll see how we go. And take it easy, guys. Subscribe if you're new, like the video, and hit your bell notification button. Thanks very much. See you, lads.